Hey everybody, it's Jason with All-Star Welding, back at you with another exciting video. Well, today we've got this trailer to work on, and what the fella's issue is, when he puts his side-by-side on here, he's added a push bar on the front, a winch, bigger tires, a trailer hitch on the back, and after he did all that, he found out that he can't close his tailgate anymore. So he's got this carabiner on here, and he has to use a ratchet strap to pull it up and then latch it in place. So what we're going to do is we're going to take some of this round bar, and I'm going to make two pins, one about right there and one about right there, and a third pin right here for the bar to come back on, and it can sit there locked in when he's got it straight up. It's not a very exciting project, but it's something any of y'all can do. I'm just going to show you how I do it. So maybe when somebody comes to you and says, hey, I've got this issue with my trailer, can you help me out? Now you're going to know how to do it. Okay, so to get this started, the first thing I did was I opened up the tailgate, and I put this piece of square tube on here and clamped it in place so it would stay still. And I also marked a couple of areas with my soapstone. I'm going to call those the exclusion areas, because that area right there, when it comes up, is going to interfere with the latch, the existing latch. So I've got to make my pin a little bit higher, and this is where the other pin is going to be. And so center to center on that, you're looking at about, we're going to say 11 1/4 inches from pin to pin. So what I've done is I've center punched a little hole, and I'm going to drill through this, and I've already got it marked right here about 1 inch long. These are going to be the pins on the trailer. In case you're wondering, I had to put this piece in here because my cross slide wouldn't move over far enough when I had this clamped in. But so there we go. We've got a nice little hole for the cotter pin, and I've already got it marked here. I got to cut this off, and now I've got to make the other ones. Okay, so a little change of plan. I've still got the gate back the 8 inches that he wants, and I'm going to make the 8-inch point right here. And then I'm going to use this one that I marked earlier, so that if he's got this thing really loaded down, or if he wants to carry something more, he can take it off of this one and put it on this one, which will let the gate drop back even more. So in preparation of that, what I've got to do is I need to measure the width of this square tube is 2 inches, and I've got this coming out 1 inch on this front pin. So I've got to make this one 3 inches long, but I'm going to put a washer, I'm going to weld a washer here at the 2-inch point so that the bar doesn't go all the way. I don't want him to have to try to stretch this thing over, bend it over, or anything like that. It's going to be a cleaner look. So these pins, so I need to make 2 pins, the same as I made that front one, but they're going to be 3 inches long. Okay, so I've got these 2 washers put on here, and if you do this, put it so that the letters are facing the trailer so they don't show. And I think I'm just going to TIG this on. It doesn't have to be pretty. We're gonna wire wheel it all down when we're done. I know y'all are going to get on to me about not sanding down the galvanized coating on these washers, but I totally forgot. But let me get the wire wheel. We'll clean this up. That doesn't look too bad. All right, there we go. Okay, so I've already got these spots marked on this side of the square tube and on top of this one, so I'll know where I want to position these pins. And I know that it's going to be in the center of all three of these, so I don't really need to be that particular with it. But now we got to take the flat disc, we got to get some of this powder coat off so that we can get down to the bare metal so we can MIG it. All right, that'll about do it. So I've already got, I don't know where I'm going to put this pin yet until we get the bar made, but we can go ahead and put these three on. And for this, I'm going to use the MIG, the Primeweld MTS200. And for the TIG, I was using the Primeweld 225 TIG. I think I was doing that on DC, of course. ER71 filler, 332nd tungsten. I always use the blue, and I think I had it on 115 amps, I think, with my argon at about 15. Number 6 cup. Okay, so these pins are they're still super hot from TIGging. And so I'm going to use that as my ground to hold it. And what you want to pay attention to, so I've got this hole drilled in here for the cotter pin, and I want to make sure that that's oriented up and down on both of them. And that's about the only thing you want to pay attention to. And before you tack it all the way, of course, you want to make sure that you're squared up. All right, so the same thing with this one. You want to make sure that it's oriented with the hole pointing up and down. And we're just going to put that right about there. So I didn't know that this square tube was such a thin wall. So I've got it on 22 volts for the pin to make sure I get good penetration on that. So what you want to do is you want to concentrate your heat on the pin and kind of push the puddle onto the square tube. Okay, that looks good. So now we're going to do the same thing with this little short pin. I made 2 of these pins, 2 of these little short ones, one for the front, one for the back. So I'm going to put that That looks like it's going to live right about there. All right. So our next step is to make the bar that's going to go across to over here. Okay, so as you can see, I've switched my drill press over to the annular cutters. This is an adapter that has a 3/4 inch Weldon shank adapter. And when I'm not using an annular cutter, I can take out these two grubs, drop this bit out, and put in a regular twist drill chuck. But so I've center punched these holes for a 3/4 inch hole, and that should still leave a 1/4 inch at the end to the end of the plate. And there we go. If you don't have annular cutters, you owe it to yourself to go ahead and get some. I've got a video on my channel where I reviewed this annular cutter set that I got from Vevor. And in the description, I'll leave a link to these annular cutters. And I'll also leave a link to the chuck that I use that's got both the Weldon shank and the twist drill. Now we just got to do the other side. Look at that hole. That is so clean. And you notice when you do it like this, you're not having to start off with an 1/8 inch, go to a 1/4 inch, go to 3/8, go to half, go to 5/8, go to 3/4. I mean, you just basically drill out the whole thing. See what it does. That's your plug that it does. So it's only cutting the outside of the hole, not the inside. And when it gets close enough, this center pin is on a really strong spring inside here. And when it gets close enough, it just pops that thing out and just shoots it across the room. So when you do this, I always bounce my tip up and down several times, and then I adjust my cross slide so that when it goes down, I don't want to see any kind of deflection of that center pin when it comes down. When it comes down and stays still, you know that you've got it centered pretty well. And there you go. Like I said, if you don't have some annular cutters, you really owe it to yourself to get some, especially if you cut a lot of holes. I mean, look how smooth that is. God, that is awesome. Okay, so the next step that we want to do is we want to round off these corners. You know, just because this is a small job, still put everything you've got into it. You don't want to just hand this to them and say, hey, be careful, those corners are sharp. Well, why didn't you round them over? So that's what we're going to do now. See, now doesn't that look better? And it just took a minute. Spend a minute, make it, round it over, make everything nice. And by the way, this is the Central Electric Harbor Freight belt grinder, and I just made a new tabletop for it. But let me get this other side. Okay, that looks pretty dang good. Let's go try it out. Okay, here's our bar that we made. Goes on there and on there. Look at that. Fits like a glove. And then we just take these cotter pins, drop them in there. Now we can take this off, and we've improved the functionality of his tailgate. Okay, so now that we got that finished, this thing needs a home. So what we're going to do is we're going to put it right there. And if this clamp wasn't in the way, when he takes this off, he can just swing it over there to that one. But the clamp's in the way, so I'll show you that in a minute. So I've marked on the top where I want the center of that pin to be, and I know that it's going to live right there in the center of that. So let me get the angle grinder again and take off some of this powder coat. Okay, so we've got this little pin, and got a little bit of edge on there. I'm gonna just clean that up. I just wanted to clean that up a little bit so it's very flat. And so we're going to put that right about there. This time I'm going to remember how thin this wall is. I'm assuming, if I was going to build a trailer, I would make these a little thicker because these are actually most of the support for a trailer, these side rails. I see a lot of people cutting them off and then they wonder why their trailer wiggles. But so the same with this one, you want to orient the hole so that it's up and down, so it makes it easy to take that pin out. And we're just going to place it right there, just tack it. Woo, that's hot. Okay, so let's do this. Let's remove this. We'll go ahead and put his trailer back in place. There's tailgate. Well, this thing don't want to fit too well, does it? I bet I can fix that for him. All right, so This one, when it's not being used, can go right on there. And so now he can still use this straight up and down. And if he wants to load his side-by-side on there, all he's got to do is pull that pin, get this ready. Yeah, let me leave it there for a minute. Yeah, I'm going to have to fix that for him. Okay, so there he is at the 8-inch extended. And if he needs even more space, you can drop this down to there. Wow, that turned out pretty good. I like that. So now all I've got to do is the other side. Okay, there you go, boys and girls. This project is finished. Painted, got the clips in, got his corner fixed so that it will, the gate will come up. But that's a good looking job. He's gonna be thrilled with this, because this is exactly what he was wanting. So he can still use the original latches to have the gate all the way up, and then he can pull this pin out, swing it around, put it on this one or this one, depending on what angle he wants the tailgate being at, and put that pin in one of these. Easy peasy. Okay, so all I've got left on this project is to do the other side. I'm going to do it exactly the same way I did here. This is a super simple project, but one of the things that I wanted to tell you is, just because it's a simple project, don't go simple on it. What I mean is, you can still do it as a simple project, but use all of your skill. You know, don't half-ass it. Like, you know, rounding off the corners of these bars, you know, and using flat bar, you know, flat stock, you know, don't throw some angle iron on there. You know, everybody's got angle iron. You know, go to your supplier or you know, check your stock, see if you've got some of that flat bar. Don't just finish this up and then tell the customer, oh, be careful, those corners are sharp. Well, you know, why didn't you round them over? I'm sitting here trying to put this tailgate up, and I noticed that it's scrubbing really, really bad, and the tailgate is pushed over as far as it can go. So I'm going to grind down a little bit of that tab, you know, so that, you know, he doesn't have to fight with it to push it back up. You know, things like that, you just see something and you just do it because it's there. You know, remember, you're putting your name on this. Even if it's a little project like this, put everything that you are into it. And that's what's going to keep customers coming back to you. It's the little things. And like I always say, under promise, over deliver. It's as simple as that. But I hope you enjoyed this little project. It was, you know, pretty fun. I've done so many of these, I can throw them up, you know, pretty quickly, you know, because I know exactly what I'm going to do. Thanks for watching. Leave a comment. Check in the description. I'm going to try to, if I can remember, I'm going to put links to all the equipment that I used on here. And y'all have a great week.